Make wish. So I'm looking for my co-MC, Marissa, and I don't see her. Oh, yes. So welcome everybody. So we usually have, many of you I'm sure have been to our February events on Valentine's Day where it's much, much colder. And this year we had a virtual event, and so we're out here today. This is the first time we've been in community since COVID hit, so it feels really good. It really makes my spirit happy to be in community with you all. And it's really incredible to see the visual display today. So I just wanted to welcome you all. I'm Nicole Matthews. I'm the Executive Director of the Minnesota Indian Women Sexual Assault Coalition. And I'm the co-chair of the Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women's Task Force. And this event came together with many, many organizations and community partners and Anishinaabe Academy. We can please give a round of applause to Roy Wake him up for having this vision of having all these red dresses. Thank you so much. He is amazing. So the vision to put this together is really incredible. So I want to introduce Marissa, who is my co-MC for today with the Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center.
Can you all hear me? Hello everyone, my name is Marissa Cummings, and I'll go ahead and introduce myself in my language, which is one of the original languages of our lands. Ebe tewi blatamike, jaje wiwita te miakanda, te sendawa ubli, ijdasun de nikashingawa ubli, umahawau. Wasisige de Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center. So my name is Marissa Cummings in English, but my name that was given to me when I was born on my 4th day of birth was Miakanda. And I belong to the Umaha people that are now in what's known as Nebraska and Iowa. I'm Buffalo Tail Clan and part of the Sky people. So that's who I am. I'm a mother, I'm an auntie, not a grandma yet, but soon. And so just a relative to a lot of people. And I'm thankful to be here today. I'm thankful to the work that's been done before I came to MIW-RC on behalf of the task force and the work that's been done here for our missing and murdered Indigenous women and relatives. And I also today, I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge my partner, Sam Grant, who is here. His niece, Ashley, was taken from us. She was murdered in our home community, and her death was ruled what's the word for it? Exposure. And so there's a lot of open wounds in our home community right now, and I know her mother's speaking at the Capitol or in Sioux City today, and so I just want to acknowledge him and his family that are feeling her loss today, as well as her children. And so with that, I just will hand it back over to Nicole. So thank you all for listening to me. Shayna Agape.
Thank you. So we put a call out to our red jingle dress dancers, and we do have the Badote drum in the middle, and I think we're going to do an honor song for our missing and murdered Indigenous relatives, and I think we're going to, if we can clear the sidewalks around this grass patch in the middle, I think we're going to dance around there. And for those of you who have shawls or who have your ribbon skirts, you are welcome to dance. All are welcome. So we've invited our red jingle dress dancers who bring healing to this issue. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for always showing up for our people. And I will turn it over.
Oh, Again, thanks for joining us. We're here in St. Paul, Minnesota for National Day of Remembrance for MMIW-R relatives. You can see this giant installation. Now we're going to have some songs, some dances, some speakers, and just to hold space for our relatives who are missing, murdered. We can see some jingle dancers coming up now. Or not, let's step in there. But there's going to be some jingle dance dresses for healing. And yeah, we're just holding this space. We're here in front of the Capitol. Again, thanks for joining us here on the Indian Collective. I'm Lorenzo Sedna, the Director of Tactical Media, and we will be live. I am Chicanix. My pronouns are they, them. And let's just get back to the music and the dancing.
Be quick for that. One more?
That's for the drummers.
Okay,
Are calling for one more. There are 6 sides here. Alright, just bear with me. There's going to be one more song, some more dancing, so we're going to move to this side. Again, thanks for watching on the Indian Collective. I am Lorenzo Serna. This is the National Day of Awareness for MMIW-R here in St. Paul, Minnesota. Yeah, so we're out here. You can see this art build that turned into this installation. Thousands of red dresses on the Capitol grounds. You can see them behind folks there. Just all around. And I guess we're going to have another song now. Again, don't forget to hit that like, follow, subscribe button. Thanks so much to everyone who's watching on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Thanks for being here. Share this out. Thanks for all the support and raising awareness for our relatives.
Miigwech. Miigwech, everyone, for coming out, and I want to take a moment to really honor all of our relatives who have gone missing, who have been murdered, and I want to take a moment of silence to remember them. And then I'm going to ask that we call out their names. And you can just yell them out. So I want to take a moment to remember them. Call out their names. Keep calling. Rose down. Keep. They are why we're here today. And there's many more that we carry in our hearts, whose names we didn't say out loud. And we're here today to put an end to that. We're here today to raise awareness, to call out the systems, and to ensure that there is a response. And so with that, I see our Lieutenant Governor is here. We're really fortunate in the state of Minnesota to have someone in our governor's office who represents us, who is us. And I'm so grateful that she has committed herself time and time again. She has shown up and she has been at the heart of this issue. So Lieutenant Peggy Flanagan. Lieutenant Governor, not Lieutenant. I'm giving you a new title now.
Well, bonjour, everybody. Thank you for being here. And thank you for being a witness to all of these dresses here. This is powerful on the front lawn of our house. It's a reminder of those that we have lost, but it's a reminder of our responsibility that we have to carry on the memories and the legacies, but also to bear witness for our children. And I just want to say miigwech to Rory for this display. This is something that Rory has talked about for a long time. And we see the power of this. And there are decision makers here who see the power of all of these dresses and this representation. So chi miigwech. It's powerful to look across this lawn and see the visual representation of an issue that far too long has been invisible. And to remind the world that our mothers and our daughters and our sisters and our two-spirit relatives matter tremendously. But each one of these red dresses represents far more than just an individual who has gone missing or who has been murdered. They represent our interconnected web of family and relatives who've been impacted and who continue to live with that loss. Every Native woman I know is related to at least one person who's been affected by this issue. This violence can no longer be swept under the rug. That's why it fills me with hope to witness the awareness around this issue growing across the country. In Minnesota, we've made tremendous strides in the last few years to better understand the dynamics that contribute to these cycles of violence. As many of you already know, in 2019, our first legislative session, the governor and I worked alongside then Representative, and now Senator Kunesh, and others to pass the needed legislation to create the Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women's Task Force. Now, this legislation was the result of years and years and generations upon generations of advocacy and community leadership, as well as just the fierce advocacy and remembering that it was our amazing elders and those who stepped forward to share their stories. Advocates, elders, survivors, tribal leaders, community members who shared these stories over and over again and who raised awareness. But we are moving from awareness now to action. Just 15 months later, in December of 2020, the MMIW Task Force released their report and confirmed what many suspected and what many of us had already been living. But this time they told the story with data, and a new spotlight came with those solutions. In Minnesota, Native people make up less than 1% of the population, yet Native women and girls represent 9% of homicide cases. In any given month between 2012 and 2020, anywhere from 27 to 54 Native women and girls were missing. Every single month. This is why the work of the task force was critical. We measure what we care about, and we invest in what we measure. That's why this next step in turning the task force's work and reports needs to be put into action. When crafting our budget proposal for this session earlier this year, the governor and I were crystal clear that the work of the task force needed to be funded. Sorry. I want to take this moment to just acknowledge and thank Senator Kunesh for leading this work. And for being unrelenting from the very beginning of drafting the Missing and Murdered and Indigenous Women's Task Force legislation, and now as chair of the task force itself. And now, along with Representative Becker Finn and Representative Heather Keeler, the Native Caucus, I'm hopeful that we can pass a budget that includes the critical investments needed to establish the permanent office of missing and murdered Indigenous women here in Minnesota. We all know the systemic causes behind violence against Indigenous women and girls will not be dismantled overnight. So it's even more important that we recommit ourselves to this fight. As the mother of an 8-year-old Native girl, I want to know that my daughter is safe. I want her to feel safe. The work happening all over is an overdue step in the right direction in ensuring that all Native people are safe. So please continue to make your voices heard. We have a couple of weeks before the end of the legislative session, which means a lifetime can happen over the coming weeks. But it's important that the representations of the dresses that are here at the People's House, of our house on the front lawn, it's not just a day, but we see our legislators who follow the lead of these Native women, who are experts in their own lives and their own communities. Because we can speak for ourselves, we simply need people to listen. There was bipartisan support for this task force. We stood with leaders of the DFL and the GOP. Well, now there is the opportunity to step up and say, we are going to continue to honor commitments to Indigenous women by funding this office and supporting all of the work that comes out of the report of the MMIW task force. And I'll say one last thing. There's been a lot of talk recently about the erasure of Native people in the media. It's not just simply that we hear someone like Rick Santorum talk about the fact that there weren't people here, as if those comments were enough. What it actually means is that when you allow those things to happen, when you erase the leadership of Indigenous women, the policies and practices, the cycle of violence continues. So it's not just no big deal, it matters. So continue to show up, continue to make your voices heard. I am honored and humbled to be your Lieutenant Governor, and I am honored and humbled to stand with you in this work. Nicole Chimigwich, for your you have led so much of this, and I am so honored to be your friend and to be your sister in this work. And to Senator Kunesh, you walk into that space every day. Please know that we are all with you, that the memories of the people who are represented by these red dresses are with you. They are with you, Representative. They are with you, Representative, when you walk into the system that was not created by us or for us. We walk in there collectively together. Senator Kunesh, thank you for your leadership. It's my honor to introduce you.
Yes, yes, please, Senator Kunesh. I'm Senator Mary Kunesh. I served for the last 4 years in the House of Representatives, and it was in my first year, after my first year of legislating, that I was inspired to begin to work on creating that task force for the missing and murdered Indigenous women. And that inspiration came from Canada, from their task force, but it also was through the broken heart of all of us when we lost a sister in North Dakota, Savannah LaFontaine. And it was then that I knew, as an elected official, that the time had come for us to do the work that has needed to be done for a long, long time. And so with my sisters in the legislature, we put together legislation. We went to the community. We asked them, what is it that you want? Who do you want to represent you on this task force? And it was the community that built that piece of legislation. It was with the community, it was for the community, and then they stepped up to help us with the understanding through that task force. And so I would like to say a huge thankfulness, Wopalatonka, to all of those that have participated, that told their stories, as heartbreaking as they were, as important as they were. And I see a few of the folks that were here that told their story. Willamette is here. I don't know if Misty is here, but there are a number of people that came forward to share their stories, and for that we are eternally thankful, because it's never easy to tell those hard stories. My family hails from Standing Rock. I come from a long line of Lakota women, and I have the story of my mother's cousin, Elsie, who went missing. And the more and more we put the pieces together, the more and more we realize that she was one of the missing and murdered Indigenous women. And it was heartbreak all over again, and I'm sure that's how it is for many of you. But we passed that legislation. We completed the task force, and you can read that report online. And now our next step is here, and that is the permanent creation of a MMI office in the state government, because we have to continue this work. We have to address the issues that have plagued our Native communities for generation after generation. And it doesn't just end with a report. It needs to continue. We need to address those systemic issues that have allowed so many of our loved ones to go missing or murdered, and we know nothing about it. And so I thank all of you, and Rory, and the millions of you that came out to put this exhibit together. It was fabulous watching it grow this morning. Thank you for those that came out to dance and to represent. And I just want to say to our entire community across the state and across the nation, Wopalatonka, Chimigwich, and Pilamia. Thank you. I'd like to next year ask to have a word from our state representative, Jamie Becker-Finn.
Thank you, Mary, and thank you everybody for being here today. So I'm Representative Jamie Becker-Finn. I am chair of the House Judiciary Committee, and earlier today we were discussing the bill to make the Missing and Murdered Indigenous Relatives Office, and as of right now the Senate is not supportive of that. The Senate majority is not supportive of that, and I hope they're paying attention. And I hope they watch the news tonight, and I hope that they hear us and they know that this is something that Minnesotans throughout the state care about, because now is the time. There is no reason why this should wait. There is no reason why we should not get this done now. There was pushback today that maybe there was a better way to serve our communities, and my response was that when our community tells you what we need, you need to listen. And our community knows best. The people impacted know best what is going to help. And so I hope they're listening right now, and I hope that all of you reach out to your senators if you haven't already. We need them to get on board. We need them to continue to be part of this important work as they were when we put the task force together. So we will keep fighting. We know that you're with us, and we have a pretty great, we are small but mighty in the Minnesota Legislative Native Caucus, and I'm going to turn it over to Representative Heather Keeler to see if she wants to say a few words. So, Chimigwich.
Hello. First, I want to say it's really exciting to see everybody. It has been a long time since we've been in space together. As a dancer, this was actually extremely healing. So Pilam for putting this together and coming out. It's so much bigger than just today. Awareness starts in all of our systems. I'm new here. I'm new to this party. Politics wasn't anything I ever wanted to do, but I grew up not seeing people who looked like me at different tables that decisions were being made, and then systems were designed against us. Education is extremely important. If we look at our curriculum and we look at the things that we talk about, we're designed to be disposable. And so that's why our data doesn't matter. That's why people don't look for us. Savannah went missing in my community, and it was the very first time that I took massive action. Like, it was horrendous for our community. And so we've all been there on some capacity. In that moment, I decided it was time to step up. And I'm looking at all of you as future leaders in whatever that capacity means. Whether that's in your local communities, in your school boards, at state levels, at federal levels. We make up 1% of this population, and we need everybody to step up, and we need everybody to come together. Media plays a huge role in this. When we go missing, we go missing. I had to tell my son 2 years ago, if I ever go missing, don't let anybody tell you that I chose to leave. It's a common story that we just choose to leave our families. And so we need to do better collectively telling the story. We need to do better collectively educating and investing in all of the areas that we need to be honest. I am so humbled and honored to be here. I appreciate the work that we get to do together, and I look forward to working with all of you in the future. Pilam.
Miigwech, thank you so much. It is powerful to come to our state legislature and to see women that look like me, that reflect my community, and I'm so grateful to each of you for the work that you do on our behalf, and continue to raise these issues with our legislators. So thank you all for being here, and thank you for your leadership. Please give them another round of applause. Thank you. It is really hard to talk through a mask, by the way. I'm sure all of us are tired of masks. Today is about our families and our stories, and today is about all of you. And we wanted this to be a time, an open mic for families that want to share, for families that want to lift the voices and the names of our relatives who have been missing, who have been murdered. And I know there are some of those people in the crowd. I know Williamette is here and wanted to speak, and so I want to invite people at this time to come and speak.
Miigwech, gracias, and pedamia. My family is affected, is all three, actually. But I wanted to share real quick with you. Sorry. I'm a mother, grand, and great-grandmother, 65 years old, still fighting genocide in the most powerful, rich, free country in the world. Everyone worldwide comes here to find their American dream. Our native people live in the American dream, C-O-N. I'm tired of playing the game. My oldest daughter is a missing and murdered Indigenous woman. She was missing in '96, found and brought home for proper burial in 2008. She was murdered, and upon arrival at the medical examiner office out of state, she had ID on her and yet was turned into a white female and given another name and changed her date of birth on her death certificate. During the same years of living in trauma, my new grandson was taken and put in the home of the people at the top of the list to adopt the first available male Indian child. This removal also took his older sister and eventually a new baby sister. I, being the grandmother, attempted to get them as well, without realizing we were up against the whole system. This includes Hennepin County attorney, equal advocates, guardian ad litem, county child protection worker of Asian descent, the Minneapolis Police Department, the Hennepin County Sheriff's Department, kinship worker, and please forgive me if I fail to acknowledge you and you were also a part of the problem. I approached our tribal judge and he told our tribal equal advocates at the time to change the venue and she refused. I then approached my tribe in April 2006 to change our ordinance back to any child born to a member is duly enrolled. Apparently the government came to the tribe in the 90s and told them we would receive more dollars for our Indians health services if we change our blood ordinance to blood quantum. The power of the pen is so powerful that it can sever the blood ties God blessed us with. This time, my tribe is stepping up. It benefits many that it hadn't in the past. I cannot believe the power one family can have in gathering of systems people to assist in the dismantling of a whole family. I thank God again for my tribe backing my bloodline. My great-grandma told me to be careful when I have babies. The white man will try to take them from you. In Ojibwe, we call the white man Chimokaman, meaning big knife. In Dakota, we call them Washichu. Washi means fat. Chu means take. I said they came here with their big knives and severed our bloodlines to take away babies God blessed us with. They sit in front of a shield that clearly states, "In God we trust," as they sign our babies away to strangers. I cannot believe that there's people in this world that can't see the crime of it all. Still experiencing war crimes the government put out against us. My whole life has been committed to seeking justice and rights of any kind for our native people. What does that say about this so-called great nation? Give it up already and allow my people the right to live. Glitch.
Miigwech really meant. Okay. In the world of COVID, you have disposable mic covers.
Again, thanks for joining us. We're here at the St. Paul Capitol.
Bonjour, everybody. My name is Alyssa Parkhurst. My Indian name is Benatians. I'm Bear Clan from the Red Lake Nation. Today I'm here to dance and also to offer a song. If anybody wants to join, you guys can. I'll be singing the Strong Woman song. Thank you.
Again, thanks everybody for joining us. We are here at the St. Paul, Minnesota Capitol for Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Relatives Awareness, National Awareness Day. We're listening to a lot of speakers, different family members who have lost loved ones, and just trying to discuss this in a good way.
Are there others who would like to speak?
Thanks for being here.
I just want to say good afternoon to each and every one of you. Today I'd like to ask all of my elders and all those that are older than me to forgive me as I speak before you. Like my companion was saying, my name is Sam Grant, and One of my nieces was taken from us. Her name was Ashley. In our Omaha way, we don't say names because we want them to go. Where she's at now, she's safe, she's good. But how she went was wrong. What happened to her was wrong. Her mother and her father don't feel like they have the justice that she deserves, and she didn't. It's still going on. She leaves behind 2 sons. So today, as I look around here, I see a lot of men. Today, I challenge each and every one of you, men, to stand up and protect your women. Protect your sisters, your mothers, your aunties, your grandmas, your nieces. I also challenge you to raise your little men, those little humans, in a good way. Tell those little men how to take care of those who create and carry life. I challenge all the uncles to take your nephews out into the timber by the river somewhere. Show them what it's like to be that fire for your family, for your tribe. I also challenge you to keep those who did do something, hold them accountable. I have family members who have done the same thing, who have hurt women, and I've held them accountable. That doesn't mean I didn't love them any less. I just had to hold them accountable. This is something that I had to learn to do myself. My first memory is of my father beating my mom up. And then growing up thinking that I was a good guy. Thinking that I'm not going to be like him. I can stand here and say I've never put hands on a woman, but I abused a woman differently. I abused them emotionally, mentally, spiritually, financially. And it was hard to look at. It was hard to look at myself in the mirror and say, okay, I was all these things. Today I accept those things. This is who I was. I changed. I went and I asked for forgiveness. Publicly, back home. So one of the messages that I give out today is, again, I challenge all of our men who are raising young men to teach them in a good way, the right way. How do we take care of our women? How do we take care of those who carry life? I'm not anybody special, not anybody great, don't have the best stories or can speak very well, but I think it's time that we as men have to hold each other accountable like that. Aho, eri, wongere.
Miigwech.
Folks that volunteered, we have smaller versions of these that were prototypes. Those are free for volunteers now. And then all the art out here, if it survives the next few days, will be at the Indian Center free for community. So put these in your windows. They don't last long as yard signs, but put them in, if you do, time to your fence or whatever. But yeah, get them out there. That's the next step after this.
Miigwech. Are there others who want to speak? No? Okay, do we have someone who is coming up?
Yeah.
Take it off. Hamadak yapi, chante washte na pe cheese yapi, amakbewi mia wasitui, Amber Sky Stevens amachi yapi. Onaida edo mawapi ka split ota otuen ed imachare. So I said, hello all my relatives, I greet you all with a good heart and a handshake. I'm enrolled in Oneida, but I'm also a Oglala Lakota. I was born and raised here in Minneapolis. And then I was just asked a couple days ago to read off something that I wrote. Yeah. Real close. I am a young Indigenous woman. I am from where the food grows on water, from where the buffalo used to run free. I am from an urban Indigenous community of many different tribes. When you look at me, you see my dark skin, my dark hair, my dark eyes. And sometimes you see my beaded earrings that I wear for reassurance. Reassurance to everyone, including myself, that I am Indigenous to this land. What they don't see is the trauma that I faced, the trauma that our ancestors had to face, and the trauma that we will continue to face due to the genocide conflicted on our ancestors. Inside of me, I not only have intergenerational trauma, but I have intergenerational resistance. Because even though our people are living in a system that was made to kill them, we are thriving and resisting the oppression that is still affecting us due to colonization. We are growing, fighting, resisting, rising. We will continue to fight for the next 7 generations. We will continue to fight for the land, the water, the earth we call our mother. We will continue to grow, thrive, and resist. And most importantly, we will remember our ancestors in all of it. Pilamaya.
Thank you, Amber Sky. Good. We have others who want to speak. Thank you all for staying out here in the rain. Although it's just a little bit of rain, right? Hi.
My name is Carol Whitefeather. Hard to be up here. My daughter's life was taken January 20th, 2020. Left behind 3 kids. Very hard here. I know there's many out there that are unsolved. We just gotta stick together and protect one another. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Good. Are there others who want to speak? I want to say, I thought it was a little ironic that we had like beautiful sunshine this morning, and then at the time of our event, then it was going to rain, and I thought about all of the people that these red dresses represent, and I think that being in a little bit of rain is really minimal to what our relatives and our communities have suffered, and so I'm okay being in a little bit of rain, because it is far less than the suffering of the women that these red dresses represent. Are there others that want to share your story or a story of someone you love? see anybody else. I'm going to ask Jackie Kunkel's going to sing a closing song for us. We have an umbrella for you up here. Also, there is still food across the street. If you want to take some to go, please do. There is a lot of food left and drinks across the street that's on the table.
Thanks so much, everybody, for joining us today here on the Indian Collective. We're here in St. Paul, Minnesota, in front of the Capitol for this MMIW-R Day of Awareness. Looks like there's a few more speakers going on. Again, thanks for following, liking, sharing, subscribing, and we're going to keep listening here. It's hard. Let me take this down. All right, everybody. Again, thanks for joining us. If you want to hit that follow, like, and share, please do. Nicole?
And then
Oh,
there was
Nicole?
something. Yes.
Can you once again just tell me what groups are involved in putting this together if you want?
Yeah, so the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition, the Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center, Anishinaabe Academy, the Metropolitan Urban Indian Directors provided the food today. The Ogichtakwe Council was our hand drum singers. And then we had a drum group from the Bedote School.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. It was a beautiful day. Oh, for sure, anytime, always. All right, I'm gonna move all the way back to the sort of the installation. So let's walk through the installation one more time, then we'll call it a day. Give me a second to get out the chat again. This is Lorenzo Serna. I'm the director of technical media here at the Indian Collective. My pronouns are they, them. I am Chicanx. And yeah, really excited to be able to bring you all out here to let you see this, witness this event. I know there's events like this all over the country going on today. So this is just what's going on here. I know that we had a live, I think a takeover earlier today from our director of racial equity, Sunny on Instagram, and I'll be sitting here for a little bit, talking to folks. You know how it goes. Afterwards, we want to hang out and talk, and I think I'll be being brought into the Instagram live we'll be doing later. I think it starts at 4. But I'm just gonna walk to this here so we can kind of see a scope of this installation. It's pretty massive. I think they're trying to work on getting permission from the city to fly a drone to be able to catch this from the sky, because the artists were trying to make it into a dress. So this installation from above should look like a dress with rolls for the ribbons. So I don't know if you can kind of imagine that. That's what the goal was, or at least that was what the goal turned into. I don't know if that was always the goal. So yeah, we're just gonna walk. You can see these were made by a variety of community people. The hands here are actually from a local indigenous school called the Anishinaabe Academy, and they made of these dresses, and then the students also put their hands on some of them. And so it was a big community effort here in the Twin Cities area, and to try to get different indigenous communities involved to create this together, to hold this space together, to be able to uphold our relatives that are missing and murdered and lost. And it's always hard, it's something that I always talk about. It's like we end up coming together to honor our relatives who had to go through so much for us to be here, and sometimes it feels bad that we're always coming together for these traumatic things, but we usually make something really beautiful. And this is what people did here. I got some water on the... It's raining. I don't know what to do about it. I have nothing to wipe it. Give me a second here. Let's right here for a second. See if I can clear that off. Use the scientific. In my other kit, I actually have the rag for this, but I don't have it with me today, so this isn't good. Okay. So we're going to the front here. Give you one more view of the installation in the Capitol. Straighten it out here. This is out of the way. I'm going to check the chat. And again, if you could just go ahead and follow, like, and share. It helps us be able to show the world what we're seeing. What we're seeing, what we're talking about, and we need your help a lot to be able to break through all the algorithms and stuff. So thanks a lot for all the support that you all do when you're watching, just by sharing and liking and commenting. Don't forget, like I said, to hit follow. And not sure when we'll be live again, but we will be, obviously. One second here. I thought I had the chat available. Doesn't look like it. Yeah. I'll get in front of the camera and say goodbye. You know, this is always fun. Go all the way wide and put it on me. All right, everybody. I'm Lorenzo Serna. This was the National Day of Awareness here in St. Paul, Minnesota, for missing and murdered Indigenous women and relatives. We talked to a lot of people. We listened to a lot of speakers. We held the space together. I actually helped build some of this, so that felt good. I was able to put some of these stakes in, put some of these dresses in, some of these hearts in, and also I was at the community build where we brought you all with, and I was also able to help there. So it feels really good to be able to participate in that way, and then also be with relatives and just kind of hold space for all of our lost loved ones. And I know it's a hard thing to do, but it's important that we keep doing it. And I think that you've seen sort of the results of all these community people coming together, and it feels good. And again, just keep following, liking, and sharing this work. Following, liking, sharing the community and what we're doing, and we're going to be out in the streets. So we'll see you then.